Catus, Maximus here, this time with a quick review of this not so great overpriced Stanley FatMax simulated diamond tip screwdriver set. The biggest disappointment. Stanley in the last few decades has really gone downhill. 20 bucks is the where these are sold mostly at. Found these on sale for 15 bucks, so I figured I'd give them a shot. I do talk about tools on this channel occasionally. But this is kind of odd because these were at a department store, and it's really a carpenter's or contractor's screwdriver set. And so I thought that was a little bit strange, but apparently they can't get these into the big box stores. What I mean by that is it has a 3/8, 5/16 flathead. We have a number 1 and a number 2 Phillips. The diamond grit, simulated diamond grit. It's like cubic zirconia or carbide or something. It's not actual diamond grit, but it's really pretty low quality. We'll just get that right off the bat. This diamond grit is just barely there. And then it comes with a T25 and a number 2 Roberts, which are two very common sizes used in deck screws and various wood fasteners. And that's why I say it's a carpenter's screwdriver set, because it would be more likely a carpenter is going to end up in a situation where they're going to have a need for a T25 and a number 2 Roberts screwdriver. So it kind of makes the set a little bit odd. And for people who don't have common use for both these drivers, then you're paying $5, you're paying 20 bucks for 4 drivers. No thanks. Other issues, they didn't, in the tool world, green tends to be the coloring that they use if they're going to color something that uses a Star or Torx driver. This is just all yellow, and then they put a red cap like the flatheads for the Robertson, so it's not easy to distinct or to identify both these odd screwdrivers out of the rest of the set. Another disappointment. The simulated diamond really gets me. It's just really just pretty cheesy. They're even going to use actual industrial diamond. The only thing it does have going for it is a pretty decent shape, although it seems all screwdrivers that are made in the last few years have standardized on the grind and the tip shape for Phillips, so they're all pretty much fit the same. They call this a quad-lobular handle, and there's 4 textured areas, but this is not a 4-lobed handle. Now Stanley owns DeWalt, so this is another Stanley product, and we can see what a actual 4-lobed handle looks like versus these. So it's kind of strange that a company that already does make actual 4-lobed handles is calling handles like these also quad-lobed, and they're not. They're basically round handles with just some texturing on them. Further annoyances: Stanley lifetime limited warranty. It's not a wear warranty, it's a materials and a workmanship warranty, which is basically useless. What they're saying is they don't have enough confidence in these screwdrivers that they're going to really last, that they're willing to replace them if the Phillips ends up getting worn out or something like that, which is kind of disappointment because not a lot of people are going to be doing that with screwdrivers, and it's not a big cost to them. It's just chincing out your customers. And you know, I've known this for Stanley. Stanley is a storied tool company that's been around for like 150 years, and it's just horrid what's happened to them in the last few decades, and that's why you don't see a lot of Stanley tools on this channel. And it's just this kind of stuff, selling these screwdrivers, which they really just aren't what they are advertised to be. They're not quad-lobular handles. They say these are simulated diamond grit, but it's the weakest wannabe grit I've ever seen. And quite frankly, I'm going to end up, if you're going to get if you really like diamond tip screwdrivers, get the Harbor Freight Quinn set, because it's going to give you a more complete set of drivers for less money, and it's the same quality. These Stanleys are Chinese, so it's kind of irrelevant. It's really sad because Stanley, these black and yellow Stanleys here, these old American-made ones, were like an institution. These are probably at one point one of the most popular screwdrivers sold in the United States. It's just, you go into thrift stores, you can almost every single time there's going to be at least one of these Stanley screwdrivers in there. And I really like this more traditional design because you have nice heavy ridging there where you can really get a good purchase. If you have greasy hands, you can get your fingers into those ridges and get a lot of force on there. Of course, with these handles, they're not rated to be oil and solvent resistant, so you have to be careful of that if you use them for, say, automotive work. And then if you do have any grease or any oil on your hands, these overmolds end up becoming very slick, and it's just a round screwdriver handle at that point, and it's going to make your life pretty tough. Heck, even this, wannabe diamond plate texturing on the Quinns is better than what the Stanleys have. And Harbor Freight isn't my favorite anymore either. I'm going to end up telling people if you want a diamond grit screwdriver, you're going to probably want to end up with the Lennoxes. They seem to be doing about as far as I have seen, there's a lot of driver brands out there, and I'll end up collecting more. But between Stanleys, Quins, the Lennox have by far the best diamond grit, just much more aggressive. And what's still disappointing is that Stanley's advertising, better contact, prevents strip screws, helps remove a strip screw. It's mainly just a good shape. The diamond grit's going to make almost no difference in any of this type of stuff. And what really annoys me about the diamond grit on all this is just a cheesy diamond grit grinding wheel, and this has actual diamond grit that is properly aggressive, and I don't know why they can't apply this kind of grit to a screwdriver. I mean, just in this camera here, it's just super obvious, a real diamond grit versus whatever, silver paint Stanley has. As a matter of fact, let's take a much closer look. All right, here's a quick look at the actual diamond grit grinding wheel, just to give a baseline here. Now here's the Lennox. You can clearly see all the little dark spots, lots of diamond particles in the Lennox, why it feels so aggressive. Here's the Harbor Freight Quin. As you can see, just a lot less of the tan particles, and you can see a lot less of the coated crystals, unlike the Lennox. So the Quins are definitely a lot worse. Now let's take a look at the Stanley. Now here's the Stanley Diamond FatMaxes. Super tiny particles, barely any traction. You really want larger particles to actually get a good grip. Super thin coating. It basically looks like it's just almost nothing's there. It's just such a super disappointment. It's not fraudulent marketing, but it is such a thin coating, it shouldn't have even bothered putting it on there. So as you can see, the Stanleys are pretty weak sauce. I mean, it was amazing, the difference in what a real diamond grit wheel looks like and what this Lennox looks like. And you can really feel it on the Lennox. So you can just feel that big thick coating on there compared to the Quins, and it's even surprising the Quins are even better than Stanley quote-unquote FatMaxes. So these are their premium line. One description for these Stanley screwdrivers, and that is weak sauce. I don't recommend them unless you are just like in some kind of pinch and you really like Stanley and you like having a Roberts and a number T25. Otherwise, my advice is shop somewhere else. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Catus Maximus out.